Yes, I know it's a pretty deep song, but it's exactly the right kind of ambience that I'm looking for the subject that I'm about to commit myself to. Guys, this is not going to be a funny video. This is going to be a great life lesson. And this is about how to identify a sociopath. We're going to need to sit down for this one. All right. My name is Amy Everly, and I am the Shallow Zen Master. And on the eve of my 30th birthday, I've started to realize a lot of things about this world that we live in. And for the most part, I feel like the reality that we're surviving in it's pretty beautiful. But if we have to relate our world to the idea of the Matrix, the way the Matrix is designed is it's got to be designed with a few little glitches in it to keep the narrative interesting. And the glitches that we have in our species is what I like to call sociopaths. Now, the definition of a sociopath is actually exactly the same as a psychopath. People think that the two are very different. When you think of the word psychopath, you think of an axe murderer or a serial killer. This could not be more far from the truth. Let's get down to business. The scientific statistic at the moment is that 1 in every 100 people in any community is going to be sociopathic. Now, when you want to try and work out if somebody you know is a sociopath, there are a few core little details that you need to look into that will really help you understand what this personality disorder, or if we're going to get deeper, corrupt soul disorder, but we're going existential there, is really all about. Now, in the human's brain, because we're mammals, we are hardwired to feel empathy. Empathy is the most beautiful thing. Empathy is what a child inherently has for another child. Go and watch a bunch of little kids on a school playground, right? If one little kid falls off the jungle gym and grazes his knee, chances are another little kid at some point will run up to him and put his arms protectively around him and say, "Oh, are you okay?" Religion can't teach empathy. Morality is not something that's attributed to empathy. Empathy is something that we as mammals are inherently designed to feel. When you see an animal getting hurt or injured, your natural instinct is empathy. If you had to see, I'm going to be graphic here, a puppy's leg getting twisted off, you would feel empathy. Okay. Now, scientific studies have proven that when putting a sociopath's brain under an MRI scan and doing a cross study or control test with that of a empathetic mammal's brain, some very, very interesting things get highlighted. In a sociopath's brain, the little part of every human brain that scientists call the R complex lights up. Whereas with me or you, it's just plain old dead grey matter. What is the R complex? This is where things get exciting. This is when science really comes into it. So, although scientists are still at a complete loss about what human evolution is all about, I mean, we still don't know for sure whether we came from apes or whether creationism is or aliens genetically modified us, but something is very interesting. We have some little part of our brain called the R complex, which mirrors how reptilians' brains operate. So if you look at a snake or a lizard, they are hardwired for pure survival. They don't suckle their young. They leave them out to fend for themselves. They're all about eating, hunting, surviving. That is how they operate, okay? So in a reptile's brain, the part of their brain which humans have, which is empathetic, that's completely gone. Reptiles just are complex. So we've actually got a little bit of a brain that mirrors how reptiles' brains function. And in a normal empathetic person, we use that maybe 2% of our entire brains. And that's what makes us get out of bed and go to work every day and survive. Now, in a sociopath's brain, that is the only thing that's glowing like a fucking light bulb. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty of it all. How do I identify a sociopath? What are they? Are they these creepy, weird serial killers? Are they rapists? Are they axe murderers? No. When a child is born and starts developing a personality and empathy starts to develop, within, let's go back to that original statistic, 1 in every 100 kids. There'll be that 1 in every 100 kids that'll be on that playground, and they'll see another little kid falling off the jungle gym, and they'll look at that child with complete apathy, indifference. Maybe during the course of their schooling, they will be exposed to other things that other kids and parents and family members get upset about. Maybe they'll be in their car with their families and drive past a horrible accident, and the mum might burst into tears. And the little sociopath boy will look at this carnage on the road and go like, I don't understand why mum is crying. It's just a mangled old body on the road. Life goes on. Can you imagine the horror of being a 5-year-old child and observing all these really, really odd behaviors around you from people that keep bursting into tears at the sight of dead kittens and dead people and kids falling off jungle gyms, and you're this 5-year-old going, it seems like I'm supposed to be crying, and it seems like I'm supposed to be getting upset, but I can't make myself. And then suddenly you're 6 or 7 and you wake up one night in your bed terrified because you realize that you're different. Now, the empath in me feels very sorry for our hypothetical little boy or girl. That must be horrific. But thank God for that R complex. Because what that R complex then does for little sociopathic girl or boy is it kicks them into survival mode. So how the sociopath child will then develop into the sociopath adult is they will then start developing Oscar award winning mimic behavior to fit into society. Alright, how does this manifest? The small sociopath child realizes that they're getting treated differently by not behaving in an emotionally appropriate way. They start then learning how to mimic empathetic emotion. This happens because of their need to survive. The desire to survive and succeed and get to the top of the food chain, so to speak, is stronger than in any other mammalian empath. It is fierce, it is fiery. They don't simply want to blend in with society. They don't simply want to just be normal mammalian empaths blending in and crying over dead kitties. They want to be that guy who's also the CEO. So what they learn is that when human beings typically like other human beings, it's because their empathy gets attracted to charismatic behavior. So the little sociopathic little boy will learn how to cry appropriately, will learn how to manipulate mummy and daddy and teacher and all his friends around him to do exactly at his bidding. And how he often does this is through becoming a very smart, very funny, very charismatic little personality. Now, as he grows older, he learns that there are certain things he needs to be good at to continue this success story. And when you meet an adult sociopath, they're often the most charismatic and funny people in the room. They're that guy that does this. Wow, Amy. You know what? It is so good to see you here. I've been thinking about you for yonks. Well, what do you mean? I mean, hi, John, nice to see you. No, Amy, let's just sit down quickly. All right, let's sit down. Amy, you know what, my girl? I've been watching you. You just, I listen to your radio shows, and you just, man, you just get right into my heart, man. And the way you talk about environmental activism and exposing all this medical corruption, and not to mention how beautiful you are, girl. Have you been working out? Damn, you look good, Amy. I value what you're doing. Now, this kind of conversation often happens in a very, very, very sincere way. And for the average person who has an ego, because we all do, who's constantly trying to validate themselves based on other people's reactions, your regular, middle of the range person is going to look at this and feel awesome. Now, don't get me wrong, the sociopath's methods are not overkill. I mean, there's a point where that kind of sincere interest in a person can become rather fake. The sociopath's methods of doing this are very, very smart. And what they do is they reel you in. Now, when a sociopath reels you in, it's done before you can blink your eyes. And before you know it, there's this trail of destruction being left behind. A sociopath does not see you as a human being. They see you as a victim. They see you as a mark. A sociopath will step on your head and climb all over you to get ahead. They will destroy you. They will ruin your career. They will ruin your reputation. They will destroy your soul, and they will feel nothing. A sociopathic husband might have multiple other women or relationships in his life, maybe all over the world with other kids, with false identities. He could be anybody. These guys want money, they want power, they want survival. And sociopathy can very often be seen at the top of the corporate pyramid. You see it in religious institutions, you see it in corporate entities, you see it in government, you see it in the military-industrial complex. They're narcissists. They're obsessed with themselves. They want to stand on that podium and have everybody looking up to them and worshipping them. They get orgasmic pleasure out of control. Now, in my personal experience with sociopaths, I've had pretty close relationship with a couple of them. One was a family member, and he reeled me in very, very, very quickly, and with the promise of an incredible lifestyle overseas. And I went for it. I gave up everything, and I sort of dropped my life to try and sort of experience what was on offer. And when it was almost too late, I realized what I was in for when this person said to me, I will give you this at the expense of your soul. And that meant giving up my life in South Africa, giving up my relationship with my mum, giving up my dreams of becoming who I am, and just working for him as his little slave. And I was made to feel incredibly guilty for turning that down. I was made to feel like I was destroying his life for turning down the sacrifice of my soul. And it got very, very ugly. And I realized that he was telling me that he loved me, but I realized that love was completely conditional. And well, it wasn't love at all, really. Now, I can tell you some pretty easy ways and easy steps on how to identify a sociopath. Because they have no empathy and no connection to beauty or emotion, a really good way of finding out if somebody is a sociopath, if you suspect this, is by asking some very simple questions. So here's a good way. If you suspect somebody's a sociopath, ask them very quickly and very suddenly what their favorite song is in the whole wide world, the song that moves them to tears. Trust me, they don't have a favorite song. Trust me, they don't listen to music. Trust me, when they go to a rock concert with you, they pretend to cheer, but they have no connection to what's happening, and they are bored as fuck. They are looking at the stage and going, why are people playing on these weird stringy wooden things? What is happening? Why? What is this? What is music? They don't know. They won't be able to answer. Maybe they're prepared. Maybe they know. Maybe they'll be like, ah, Jimi Hendrix, Voodoo Child. But they will ask them what the most moving book is that they've ever read. They won't be able to tell you. Ask them what they think of Van Gogh's use of color in his beautiful artworks. He won't know what use of color means. It's pretty scary, and we see them, especially when it comes to government and religion. We see a lot of innocent lives being taken over bullshit like, my God is better than your God. I want your oil, I want your land. Sociopaths. There's no such thing as collateral damage. That's absolute bullshit. You cannot carpet bomb a population of people because terrorism. It's two wrongs to make a right. You've got to have sociopathy at the capstone of every corporate, military, religious, and governmental pyramid in order for the sickness in our world to persist. Anyway.